I don't know. I have one of those, so it records everything you say and everything I say. Okay. So who has my magic sidewinder? Kearney? Why? When he's not a girl? Because he was keeping it on the show. Okay, so why does Kearney hate me when I'm not Sean? Or AK? Or Twan? Or Amanda Tessie slash Katrina slash whatever that is. Mary Ashley. Jessica Pace. Sarah Jessica. Yeah, I remember Snail Show Boy. No, it was not the person on the ground had to go in the bathroom. It was a guy on my lawn. There's no possible way that somebody else on the ground would go cry in the bathroom like that at all for no reason unless somebody made them think of something sad. But up here it's different because it's an emotional connection. Because the thing is that with a UE helmet, when you're a female, okay, you have different ones, different versions. There's law enforcement that don't give a fuck, right? But there's a special one for kids when you're a CPS worker that it pings off a stress impulse. So if a kid gets scared, like if there was a report of a potential abuse, like maybe somebody saw a black eye on a little girl or something in school, they might go down and put a little shield in their room or something, and they can sense it if they get scared or whatever. It's the stress response that sends a lady over to look above and see what's going on with the little girl if she's getting scared because her dad's beating her or she's being M-worded or whatever, and they call the cops right then so the cops can go to the house and arrest the motherfucker. What it was not supposed to do is have an alternate reality up here where there's sARAS adopted all over the internet in these Anunnaki bodies at 2, 4, 6, 8. I mean, this little girl is so fucking cute. You can't even understand. Mother Earth had her at 3 months old, right? I mean, cuss, sorry. Over there in Japan, adopted with Japanese blood in it somehow. And like, she's like 4 years old now over there in Japan. And the stress response is not supposed to ping off baby Saraya over there in Japan or anywhere else over here where she may have been adopted somehow because they're doing porn, getting these phone calls made on these people thinking that this is really happening. And they do get the phone calls called to their house and they do get their kids taken away in here. And I don't know for sure if it was on the ground for sure, but I think Rebecca did too. And she was a CPS worker or worked for a judge in Ohio. And she's got a kid named Chris. And I don't know if that's his real name, but they have a little bit of an accent and he's got a super like cute chipmunk cheeks. I don't know if he has dimples, but anyways, I can feel him when he's in my face. And he's probably like, I don't know, 18 now, I think, probably. They said he was 17 back then when he married Sarah. And they had to jump him out of his parentage or whatever. Because they put a restraining order against Sarah slash Tiffany at the bottom, thinking that she was allowing them to get married and do drugs and stuff when they were underage. And she's like, I didn't even know that. I thought Sarah was young too. Like, I didn't know. Because Sarah was born in my body too. And she was immature. But, like, the last thing you think is that this is really going to come true, like cyber sex in virtual reality, an alternate universe, picking off Tiffany's brain stems. It's illegal. Tiffany already said that to them up there. She was trying to stick up for them because they were on her chain. And she didn't want them to disown her because the gentleman's club or whatever you call it, it's just a part of who they are. It makes them like, clout up here. But like Tiffany said, so it goes from Tiffany all the way up here to God's Tower and they're so cloudy with their beautiful mistresses or whatever. And then it goes back down to the ground where these cops or whatever they are have no idea necessarily what the hell is going on up here. Necessarily. But the computer system does, and the computer system judges them on their wife's behavior, or if they're pretty enough, or whatever. And I can't even get on the legalities of Tiffany even being connected, ever having teeth problems. because in the skins department, you're supposed to have a full mouth full of teeth or dentures. And Tiffany doesn't get it, but it's part of the thing. It's just like you can't get your kidney replaced unless you have good teeth. And she's supposed to get dentures so she can continue to be part of us on the ground. And we did not know she have good teeth because when we pulled her up here, we thought she was Katrina, who was one of the bodies they put on her. But Katrina didn't get the Sidewinders. Somebody else did, named Kennedy or something. Or someone different. It was rolled into someone else. So there's a Sidewinder match with Tiffany in here that pings off of a shield, which is an FBI badge, somewhere in Ohio or over there in Arizona or somewhere different, with a matching helmet somewhere that has a visor on that you can put down. You can see a picture-in-picture. You can put it up. And it has what we call a snot bubble, which smells things really good for some reason. I guess it's just because your own breath is in your face. But it keeps the smell in, and that was one of the reasons why they kept telling Tiffany not to smoke on the ground. They didn't know Tiffany wasn't up here because they couldn't see her. They were telling her not to smoke because the smoke was coming into the UE where the kids were, because she was part of that shield Sidewinder Club. But we didn't do it to make her a part of it. We had to do it to protect Tiffany and the Katrina girl and whoever else that was already in here that supposedly had their kids MOLESTETV, which wasn't true. It was just a misping off of the situation, like the Will Smith situation and the Tanika Brown situation. And the kitty cure called Rebecca Lingonberry or whatever that name is that I said in my other. I think Lingonberry Cheryl's last name. I'm not sure. Anyway, Tiffany's not Rachel. Rachel's daughter Kiara was hurt by a Blancas when she was like 4 or so, which was a long time ago because I think she's like 16 now or 18 or something. But up here, it said Tiffany was Rachel. And I don't know if they mixed brain stems up with Rachel's daughter and Soraya, mixing them together, thinking that Soraya was M-worded by a Mexican dude named Sal Jimenez or Sal Cortez because Tiffany called Sal on the phone. It was like, I heard you got arrested twice in the echelon, but I know you didn't do that either, right? She was sticking up for him, but what we didn't realize is that it was not Cortez, it was Jimenez who had been put on a Aryan Nation Brothers body from prison that had M-worded someone before, not murdered, but hurt a kid, and it was to disillusion a different one that wasn't real. So they'll throw out a couple rapes, couple murders, no problem. Just throw them out there, not a big deal. So you can't tell who did what. Or else they were pinging off of him from memories or life force, or he was connected to the girl that she put on Tiffany, which was Manatessi or somebody like that. Okay, so when you say my boss, you're not in here doing the job, right? No, she's the boss. And I was hoping to be able to work for her one day. So I just called her my boss because she gave me the name Empress because they ruined my name for T Bunny and she used the ear, teeth, eye scan code people. I think. And then sometimes she was a lid. That was way later. She became a lid later, mixed in with Callie, I think, from Arizona. And Callahan was on it too. Like, he would drop down, like, I can't even explain to you his mean ass face, but it's all scrunched up at the same time. It's grossed out about some weird stuff up here, but he dropped down to the Love You song. He's totally not like that kind of guy, but anyways, because he was mixed in with UE members, and he's a sheriff, I think. Sheridan set me up yesterday on accident. She literally has your Hawaii body over there where he sprayed some codes, and the girl had sent it that jumped out. She never went up and told her what she set you up or why. She's connected to the same person we're trying to get arrested up here. But we can't get to him. We know who it is. Okay, well, why don't you just look him up on Facebook? You know what to do. He'll have a guilty conscience. All you have to do is look him up on Facebook and pull him in. Just stare at him. He won't go on you. He'll go on someone else in your Ogen, I think. Hopefully he doesn't go on a different Ogen. That would be kind of messed up. We'll just keep an eye on it and see if you can see him and then just pull him up. Boop, boop. Goodbye. Because it's not war games right now, right? He's on FBI's right now. I can't control anything. The problem is that ultimately, like, the whole point is to, like, get the evened out score or whatever wiped, okay? Because technically, by law, she has enough money up here. And it's a lot of money, okay? When she says $3 million net worth, that's what the upper echelon told her. And that was literally a $10 million settlement statement. Minus 30%, which is ties to offerings, and 10% to the UE women or whatever they do with it. And that leaves $7 million. And net worth would be $3 million is what she's worth. Doesn't mean that's what she gets or what she has, because she doesn't. But she would be reinvesting most of it back into whatever this is up here, and to pay the people that put her here to keep them out of prison, because they are felons and they're very scary people. Sort of. It's not even that they are, it's that the people that they're connected to are. If we looked it up as gold bombs, it's not the Visco. Yeah, my dad was discommunicated or disowned. If he was or wasn't a direct Freemason, he had a watch. But anyway, they disowned him for marrying my mom, because she's Spanish. That's why they called me a white big bitch. Down here, when they red schooled me twice, blue pilled me twice, put a white pill up my nose backwards, because the white pill that went up, and I don't know why it went up the nose. He swallowed it, but it went up my nose. I felt it on one of my skin bodies. And it saved his life / mine, I guess, or whoever else it was. And I don't know if the other blue pill died or not. Hopefully not. Because that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like the Will guy from Brood, in jail, prison, got arrested from Cora Street, I think, under a SIA situation. I heard he got blue pilled in jail with 2 extra kills on him, like he was on death row. And that shit got me greenlit. And that's why I stuck up for Brood on the CIA situation, because my son Elijah is also brainstem coded to somebody that's related to them. And I don't want them to go to jail for something they didn't do or whatever, or end up killing them in here, or get them arrested, and then my son dies too because they blue pill him too or whatever, under the population control government. And I heard them crying at one point, and I'm not sure if it was the same ones or not, but I heard them crying. And what I took from what they were crying about was that they were led to believe that they basically pushed the kill button on somebody that had M-worded, molested someone. And it was a guy with the same first name, but they killed the wrong one. They killed a different one that was in their gang on accident. But that wasn't necessarily the truth, but it could have been. Who knows? Because I'm not them. I'm not them. And the computer system doesn't always know that. They'll put first names together, they'll put last names together, they'll put drug communities together, they'll put whites together, blacks together, rappers together, like different segregations, kind of like a prison. And there's Northside family up in the building. Hey, Priceless. Hey, homie. Other one. It's a crap game. So drunk, sung Tiff. Drunk. I'm sorry that I lied. I didn't even realize I lied. And Dewey knows that, right? Yeah. Because they're like, she doesn't break the law. She's never broken the law in her life. Except trading clothes. It's because they took it out of my memory, dude. Because they cut out that 4 years of my life so that I could be a part of them. Because you can't be work for whoever we're not working for without being a paid informant, rat, or narc. Which you can't be any of those if you haven't been in trouble. for the Shields and Sidewinders Mafia. If you'd ever done anything stupid like drugs. The whole operation was illegal, what they did to Tiffany. And we feel bad that we left her here. We don't know if it'll go anywhere either because no individual office wants to pay her money when she doesn't work there. And they're like, well, why would she get money? It's like, I'm sorry. Multiple billions of dollars in the Homeland Security Department. See-through dronage, you know what I'm saying? It's not FBI ticked on my second story up here. You go up my steps over here. It's FBI ticked on the wall when the drone was in my body and we were balancing our ISM codes. Well, then my whole apartment started floating. You know what I mean? And then, so, hey, Kosovo, we're an alternate floater over there. Throw down a pinger. Not a big deal. Send down the see-through drone. Pull the guy up here. Question his ass. Oh, you guys need money here and electricity? Okay, we got you. No nukes. You know what I mean? That's a very simplified version, but I'm sure it's not that simple at all, and I probably wasn't supposed to say that. I'll take it off. That was my UE number. One of them from Watts Department. I wish I knew his name. He won't tell me because he knows I don't really like cops that much, but it's a conflict of interest for something different. But if I ever get rich, I'm going to look him up and ask him if he wants me to come cook him dinner just to be a friend. Because I don't have a dad, I don't have a boyfriend, I don't have nothing. I can't be with nobody because I have a sidewinder. Because if I have sex, then we all have sex. Up here in the UE, it's not fun. I never really disliked cops before, but the only time I've ever been in the back of a cop car is when they took me back to Walmart in Salem. And I did have handcuffs on because you have to be in handcuffs to be in the back of a cop car, but I was never afraid of cops until they were afraid of cops because they could force it through the judges. And I did start getting paranoid when I started calling people like, so do I have a warrant? Because I don't even really understand how warrants work if you've never been in trouble. Like, how could you have a warrant if you've never been arrested? Well, they force things through to the judges. No, people sign it and all of a sudden there's a warrant, right? And somebody calls the cops on you or something, they could show up at your door thinking that you did something and you've been arrested somewhere different when you haven't. And it's just, I've checked the OGen Portland warrants before. 1 minute somebody's there with a warrant and the next minute they're not there. They don't exist. So if you can take it out and put it in like that, you know what I mean? Like, who's to say that you can do the same thing for Tiffany when she's never been in trouble, when she's like a sum of like 6 different felons that aren't here anymore. Their brainstem codes have turned into someone different. And that's what I'm worried is going to happen to my daughter. Because my ex-best friend tried to kill me with turpentine when he had an evil man in his body. It wasn't even meth-induced psychosis. It was just a personality switch through the wrong hub or whatever. And like my daughter, my baby girl, like going from this period state pillowcase where I went over there to visit her or whatever, this was right after I got off drugs. And like she had started her period, but she had it for 6 months and she didn't know how to tell her dad. And she was crying. And I told him and I felt so proud and so happy to be helping her right then. Like it just made my year, going from that to she won't respond to me on Facebook. Like she's never wrote me back on Facebook. And I can't even tell if it's really her not writing me back or if there's an overlay on her Facebook so she doesn't get my messages. But I see like her sending sweet little I love yous to Tia Ima and little emojis and shit, and it breaks my heart. And then when she came over there to Ima's house, I was like, hi baby girl. I was so excited to see her. And she just stood there like a stiff brick, like this motherfucker up here, acting like I was some chimo that they put through my eyes. It was a black eye that they said hurt my daughter when he didn't. But anyway, and it's just depressing because the same guy was standing in my homeboy's Twan's body, I swear, at Safeway. He's not a big hugger anyway, but like, I was like, hi, I was excited to see him, kind of nervous, and he didn't hug me back at all. He just stood there like a jerk. It's just fucking weird. That shit can happen. what did they just say? They said no more evil skull and bones forced affidavits being believed by the FBI or forced through to the judges about child abuse or any of this shit. No more needles will be accepted from the ground. They're going to have to disconnect their situation. Because one of the brood members that got killed, he wasn't Skull and Bones, but somebody else on his unit was. Sorta. And that's the guy that hates Tiffany because Tiffany blamed him for killing his own son. And it's not even necessarily that it's his son, but it's like in here you have dads or moms, that like adopt you or whatever and like keep you on the right path when you're in law enforcement. But on the other side, that's not what it is. It's a dirty, paid informancy, grimy, dirty, rotten rats, narcs, paid informant crap. You know what I mean? And it gets real evil and dumb. And they run these boys. And they make them feel like they have to do certain things. And it's through a computer system. And if you get killed and you have demons in your body because you got killed illegally, you're pissed and you want to get that person back, well, that person can drive your train on the ground or send you text messages about certain things that aren't real, like kill Whitey. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, that was my dad's name. They're lucky he was already dead, or I would have taken it a lot more personal. But I was scared because I did see it on the mirror at a brood house when I was there, and I did know it was about me or somebody up here on my team, and they did not like me for that reason. And it's not fair because I didn't do shit to these people. Like, everybody loves me everywhere I go when they get to know me, if I'm not just sitting there not talking. But usually I'm sitting there listening to what they're saying up here, or trying to ignore their hyphy comments in front of me, or their shit talk or whatever, or like, we're gonna go jack a car or whatever they would say. We're gonna go beat somebody up, or this girl's ugly and fat, she cheated on her boyfriend, or whatever they fucking do. Ouch. I don't know why they just said the steal a car thing. That was a cheat code. Don't take that out. Nothing, they're trying to make me telltale somehow. There's 3 cigars there. Thank you for the 3 cigars. Those were Ortega's. Ortega's won't close. Congratulations on being clean and sober. You should have married that ninja. I don't know why, but you probably should. Probably shouldn't, because I'm not in there. The same voice code in my brain's down. I can't say what. Probably should.
I got another one of those things from Ruby, and I was at Regiment attempt to go off. This time, I tapped this up here, and now it says, I think it said it was a notification. Do I tap that or that? Oh, no. It took it away. That's what happens. Yeah, I'm not signed up for that. It said it was a notification.
And there's the message, right?
There it is, right there.
Oh, yeah, but it's not new.
Oh, that's yours.
Yeah, that's weird.
Looks like he's been trying to get a hold of me because he doesn't have a phone, but somehow he can do it through Facebook. But every time I would tap it, it would go away. That time it popped up.
Yeah, I don't know, Mom. I have the same problem. I don't know.
There it is again.
Yeah, no, but it would be dark if it was a new message. Yeah, I don't know, Mom. Sorry.
Is that what I think it is? Is that a butt with somebody's hair?
It's actually the back of someone's neck.
Oh, that's what you had before. I forgot what you said.
They're talking shit either to you or for you, to your mom, instead or whatever they're doing, or support. I can't tell. Or they were sending it to you because they took it off your phone screen or something. I can't believe you kept representing these guys over there. I don't really know who else to represent, man. When people say those names, like, it's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, they are that. So I don't know why I wouldn't. Because for all I know, it's not them. It's the other guys that are pretending to be them or whatever it isn't that aren't that. You know, red and blues, camo vests, all stealthy on one. Videos forced to judges, must confess, looks like a guilty gavel's on, son. Mom's framed for child abuse. Multiple homicides, murder with a capital C. Folsom. Rikers, Walla Walla. Sheriff Callahan wants me warrants with a P. I'm not the only one that was scared to death about a lot of that shit in here, man. And it's not, it feels real to us when we're in here and involved in it, but the thing is that it can go to the ground. And people in here feel like when they're above them, you know, they're going to be there at any minute or whatever. And it's just fucked up when you start to think that these brain cells can be mixed up and people can get arrested for shit they didn't do because the FBI saw a video. For example, I was at AK's house 5 years ago, probably 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and I was riding my bike down the street. It was like a Huffy bike or something. I didn't have my knife or anything. Night ride, and all of a sudden this white truck pulls up, and he rolls up on me fast. I thought I was one of the homeboys trying to scare me or something, so I stood in the road like a gangster kind of. And at the last minute, I swerved off to the side. But the lights were blinding me, and the next thing you know, this Russian dude is grabbing me by the arms, trying to throw me in the truck. And I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know, I couldn't really get away from him. And then Cass is down the street. He's all, "Hey!" Right? He runs down there, and he's like, he didn't speak very good English, but he's like, I just saw you rolling through my backyard on my what's it called? Security camera. You were stealing stuff from my backyard." It wasn't even me. It was Will, who was a Samoan dude. But this guy saw me on his security camera, and I didn't look at the security camera to see it. But let's just say I've been perceived or deceived too by, once upon a time I was at a house that had been shot up in an alternate dimension, but I didn't hear it get shot up, right? And they ran upstairs and they were like, "Oh my God, we just got shot at." And I'm like, "No, we didn't. Like, I would have heard that shit. I have hella good hearing." And then like a few hours later, they look at the security footage, and the person it showed shooting it was not the person that did it because they were with me. It's just, I can't explain it. And I couldn't tell if it was because he was standing next to me and I looked at him and that's who I saw on the video camera or not. So, Wody. You know how scary that is? Thinking about, somebody said that Sal's code was known upstairs, and that somebody, I don't even know if they wore Tony Brown's body or not, but they said that they went into her house to get her debit card or whatever, to use it for something, probably to bail somebody out, who knows. And then next thing you know, the next month, Sal told me they had to be late on their rent because there was something wrong with their bank account. And something like that happened to my Uncle Jim too, and that was probably a bailout too. And they can control from the sky people's bank accounts, the Mark of the Beast shit, because we went to the vape pen store and they made my Uncle Jim's debit card not work. There's a Marine with disabilities, because he didn't want him to take me across the bridge to get whatever I'm supposed to get financially or whatever, because I guess you have to cross the bridge at certain times, and it's just all an evil ass game where they literally control my environment up here and on the ground. And I'm not crazy. I'm not at all crazy. It's just that these people don't understand why multiple people are talking out of my mouth. And I don't know how to explain it either, but I saw the stars. So they put me on a chain. Usually when you're on an FBI chain or whatever, it's you, one other person, and then one other person on the ground, supposedly, or investigating. Well, this one is me, 3 other people in here, and 2 other people on the ground. But it goes me, them, on the ground, them, on the ground. And the 2 people that are on the ground are black guys. One of them doesn't live here. The other one was my friend. But he's not allowed to be my friend because of the game. And he don't know that he's one of the people on my chain. And he's the one that's related to my son, that's related to Brood. So I'm worried if they try to kill him or me, that my kid will get killed. Or something. And the other guy was Anthony Ciaz, and he lives in Arizona, and they did try to kill his ass. Katrina said he almost died 4 times for whatever reason. And that was because he didn't leave me the car, and because he player hated me, and they hated him for a lot of other reasons too, because they thought he hurt my daughter, but he didn't. And I'm not just saying that because they put him through my face. He was never around my daughter at all. Because this stuff happened in the UAE in the last 2.5 years. On the ground misconception. Anyway. Anybody want to say anything? Nope. Just hoping they give you your money today. Probably should have sent a payment late voucher. Because they won't send it down to them at all because they won't admit that they're wrong. And they won't ever write you back. Because she needs a fucking witness, man. That's what I'm saying, bro. You get me Twan and number 2 together in a song. Now it's song. But that'll probably never happen. Nothing. Number 2's got my drone. When I use to save him. I work for Homeland Security. Because it was born under me as a UE member. We had to fix our eyesight from being 7 miles away to .002. I couldn't see that far away, no, but my vision was blurry. They could. And that's one of the reasons why I pulled the star down backwards. Because it was times magnification with the FBI number. That's infinity. It was pulling it this way, submitting it through my brainstems backwards. So when I looked up, it just pulled the star right down into my body. Almost died. And Japan kept me alive. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Paris Area. Thank you, Power Plant Owner. That was the FBI in Japan. Can't tell if that's 2 crack rocks or something proposing to be like scales of some sort. Dirty diapers. Garbage. Crack and heroin. Salt and pepper. Trife. Yeah. Well, once upon a time there was a Kearney, Carney, Caruso, and a Callahan. And one of them said they were Tara's stepdad, I guess. And somebody was being perverts with their brainstems through a LeSean Club computer in Arizona. And up here it got one of them supposed charges on her 8-year-old son. Somehow. Either her or him. Or it looked wrong or something. I don't know if that was on the ground or not, but that was a save you homeboy. And because of that, that's why they decided to get AK back. Which got me back, because they thought it was my fault when I was the shot. Who I believe died in a motorcycle accident. And I was or something. Like a tree? The tree? Are we on a chat tree? Are we a chat tree? Watch. Hopefully this will do it. Every time I ask them to do it, they won't do it. I'm going to put this in my mouth and I'm going to hold my breath. See if they bomb each other. I won't do it because he's on camera. Up here. Never. Whoa, that was weird. You see that star? It goes over there, it comes back through the computer, and now it's all sparkly. Well, that's cool. I love you, Tiffany. I'm Peter. Love you too, homeboy. No seatbelt trust. Okay, love you guys. Bye.